Remember, I used to be that kid that every day would get rejected. Y'all got my story, the glory was painted on a song. I'm mortified but feel immortal. This pen to this paper always open up different portals. It's I and me, it's me and I'm by myself. I'm down the ride, I'm taking on the tide. Size of tsunamis touching the sky. I got a quick scan, it's time to move. Leaving everything else behind, I got something to prove. I'm just riding.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Jonathan D'Angelo, a.k.a. Johnny D, and you are tuned into another Blerd Review session. And tonight, we have on the show with us Apex Legends actress, Obiageliaku.
Yeah.
What's up? We are in the building. We are in the building. How you doing tonight?
I'm amazing and honored and excited. So, yeah.
The pleasure is ours. And it's Nyan3rs joining us tonight for the first time in a while. Yes. In the building. Co-host in the building. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. Nyan3rs, you got some questions, and we're going to get some answers from this phenomenal actress. Let's get down to it.
Let's do it.
I'm saving the one from Apex fans for last. So just for introduction purposes, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, let's reiterate my name because you have to hear it 500 times to get it right. But my name is Obiageliaku Anusionwu. I was born in Germany. I'm Nigerian, born in Germany, lived in Nigeria, London, and Paris. From Philly before I got to LA. So I'm super worldly, all over the place, but love it. I've modeled, acted. I say I'm a muse because it encompasses all the things that I do versus saying one thing and then another and then another. And people are like, okay, really? You're all that? So I'm a creative muse, but I dabble in all walks of life of creativity. And yeah, I'm just, happy, bubbly, philanthropic, excited, Blerd. So.
Modeling, was it something you always wanted to do, or did the passion for modeling happen later in your life?
So I always wanted to model. My mom asked me one day, she was like, when did you want to model, and when was this idea, and what's going on? And I'm like, you've been taking pictures of me since I was a kid. My brothers have 2 to 3 albums. I have like 4 to 5 albums. She used to dress me up and my grandmother's clothing or any pretty outfits. And so I've been modeling since I was a baby. But I graduated, I was in a LA program in Temple University from Philly, go Philly. And I just wanted to stay with the TV network, but they closed down, Style Network. I don't know if you guys remember that. They had like Clean House and all those awesome shows. But they closed down, and after that, I was like, well, what am I gonna do? But then I got scouted by Auto Models and just kept going from there. I loved it. I was taken under a wing by a makeup artist who showed me the ropes a little, and then went on my own way to do things, and kept flourishing, kept trying to find my own little way, my own niche, and finally came to the shaved head in 2015, and now I am who I am.
Let's talk about that for a second. So I'm not saying you look amazing, actually.
She does. It's like the perfect head.
Yeah, my mom never dropped me. That's what happened.
Well, not all of us was able to capitalize on it. Anyway, I'm not, enough about me. But no, like, what made you want to shave your head? I feel like maybe not now in 2019, but I don't know. I feel like that may be like a bold move. I know they say women change their hair with their attitude and how they feel, but what made you feel like you should shave your head?
No, 2015, when I shaved my head, it was a thing. And so when I came to this country, I had a lot of hair, and I was doing modeling for Paul Mitchell, Dow Sassoon, African American hair shows, super thick, pulling, is this your hair kind of hair. And wow. Then I went to doing all the different hairstyles that they were putting me in the shows and such. And then I went like Grace Jones, kind of beautiful. I have to send you guys a picture, but it's like a little Afro style. Mm. And I was like, well, you know what? I want to shake it up. I want to do something more distinctive, and I want to kind of stop doing my hair. So I was like, what else? Let me shave half my head so I don't have to do half of my head. I know. I was like, wait, that's all? But everyone was doing the mohawk during that time period. And I said, what about if I shave my whole head? What am I going to look like? Only when I got to like the last strip near my ear did I tell the barber, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm gonna look like. He's like, well, it's too late now. So you could just, my mom's like, you can wear wigs and it could grow back. And honestly, I didn't start rocking it for a little bit. I was a little self-conscious when I first did it because nobody was doing it. And I wasn't owning it yet, but I wanted to shake it up. I wanted to distinctively look like the job that I was doing. People walk up, they're like, you're a model. You gotta be a model to be, you know, that brazen. And I wanted to shut off all the things that stigma, stereotypes that were given to me before. I wanted to just own myself and just be liked, loved for who I am, not my added, you know, hairstyle or clothing or whatever. And I feel like me being bald did that for me. You just have to accept me for who I am. And here I am kind of look versus anything else. So, yeah.
Was it difficult trying to adjust to this country's social and cultural standards?
Yes. I lost a lot of friends when I went bald. You know, I was kind of like a token, a Black girl in the group that I was hanging out with in the beginning. And it's funny when they hear this, they're gonna be like, but I was like chocolate Barbie. You know, I had long hair and a certain shape. And when I shaved it, I got more attention than certain people in the group who went out for that, and I didn't do it on purpose. And they started to dwindle. I started getting lesser invites. So I think it was because I was so different and not fitting the mold of what they wanted, as well as I was getting the attention because I was so different. So it was those two juxtapositions that they couldn't fit in their life. And I lost friends. So I was just like, well, you know, that's life. And they weren't meant to transcend with me. So it was okay. Never go back. I love being bald. I mean, even to the point where I'm like, dang, I wish I could, like, if I was bold enough to get it lasered, because I heard it hurts to get lasered, I'd literally do that. I have no affinity for hair.
See, and I'm worried about mosquitoes because
Mosquitoes.
Yeah, they get you.
He has that delicious blood type they want.
No, like in Alaska, so in Alaska, the mosquitoes are literally like this big. Like, and like they're aggressive. Like you can't just bug spray them away. They'll be like, oh, whatever. And so like, no.
Oh, gosh.
In Alaska, no.
I don't like mosquitoes, and I have juicy blood too. So I'm just like, no.
But you in LA, right? So
I'm in LA, but when I visit Nigeria, the mosquitoes in Nigeria are no joke. So yeah, I smell like all the sprays, and I don't care because I'm like, you're not getting me today, like at all.
Was it hard for you to blend in, like when you came here to America, with you being from Africa? Was it hard to blend in with Black people, or was it just like a jump right in for you?
No, it wasn't jump right in. I say this a lot, and it's funny. I had to learn Ebonics. I was in the hood in Philadelphia growing up. It was a nice neighborhood, and all the older people left, and then all the younger people came in and turned into the hood. So I learned Ebonics just to fit in, which it was harder than learning a different language, which was easier for me because I was like, wait, why are we cutting this word off? That's not right. It's a vicious word. Like, what are you doing? Okay.
That's not the English language. What's going on?
Yeah. I'm like, sup? All right. Or nah mean? Like, what does nah mean? So, but so it was me doing all that kind of homework and still sounding like I wasn't from here. But I always had this resilience in me that I am going to be who I am. I'm his African child, and I'm not going to change anything about that. I will do some things to fit in a little bit more, but I will never lose my identity. Like I was like, my name is Obiageliaku, like period. What's your American name? My name is Obiageliaku, period. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian child, and so it was a little bit of homework to fit in, but yeah, I wasn't totally into fitting in completely.
Oh, I had to do my a little bit of research because I was always so used to Mala Lee being the voice actor. So I was actually amazed to find out that you had been in a few movies. So during your rehearsal, I know it's not like a small feat to do rehearsing for lines. So how long or how often did you practice your lines?
Every day, all day. I don't know. I don't know what any other actor does, but for me, repetition is a thing. I have to live. It's almost like method acting. I don't totally become the character, but the character and I live together, which annoys the crap out of my mom, who hears the line over and over and over and over again. And we're in the car and she's like, seriously, the lines? I'm like, yep. So every time I have a role, it's literally, I sleep with it. I record it like a voice memo, and I have it play as I'm sleeping. Someone in one of my acting classes like, that doesn't work. I'm like, well, it works for me, okay? Even if it's a mental thing, if my mind is like telling myself that it's working for me, even if it doesn't technically work, it's my thing. I wake up saying the lines, I'm in the shower saying the lines. So those things, and researching the character, and kind of finding a common blend between that character and myself, or trying to understand that character, are my techniques. And it's 24/7.
Were there obstacles you had to overcome in your acting career that made you swell with pride and joy?
Yes.
And if so, what were they?
So, okay, growing up, as a child growing up, you don't have that much control, right? And then when you garner control, when I started to garner control, I locked onto it. Like, I can do things, I can say no, or I can, control this and control that. So for me, I got so used to that my vulnerability door was like closed. I was like, vulnerable for why? And vulnerability was my still to this day challenge. And I was in a Meisner class, and I had to pick an example that would break my vulnerability. And it was about my grandmother and her passing. And I used that example, and I knew, first of all, the idea popped immediately when I was given the assignment, and I knew I was gonna cry. And I was like, well, let me think of something else to do, but I couldn't think of anything else to do. My body's like, you gotta do it. You're gonna do it. And when I did it, I didn't know when it was gonna happen. So, but as I was in the example, it happened, and I was just like, wow, I did it. I didn't run from it. I didn't stop it, and I just sat in that vulnerability. And ever since then, I've been able to kind of tap into it without being prideful and saying that no, I'm not going to do it, or no, I'm not gonna let them see me cry, because how can I be an actor and not let people see me cry? But that was my challenge for so long, and I finally got past it. And like I said, it's still a challenge to this day, because there are roles that are still, I'm like, oh, we'll see. But yeah.
I hate crying in front of people. I always wait and walk away.
People try to
Either
hug
to the bathroom or a different room. I'm like, I ain't gonna let you guys see me cry. It's not happening.
Exactly. People try to hug me. I'm like, don't hug me. It's gonna fall. All the tears. Like, don't do it. So, but yeah, it's something that was one of my fears. One of the reasons why I didn't get into acting training, because people need to know your story, and then you have to delve into like some things in your past that connect. And I'm like, I don't want to do all that, but I finally did, and it's been good.
I feel like that's a thing for a lot of people too.
Yeah.
Like, not everyone, especially with how society is with men. It's like, you can't cry, cry. That's no, gotta be manly.
Yeah. Oh, y'all ain't never gonna catch me crying. First of all, I'm a grown man.
No.
First time I'm with you, Blerd, I'm gonna get you drunk, and I'm gonna find the sappiest thing to see if you can cry to it.
I wasn't crying when I was at Dragon Con. I wasn't crying at the bar, but I was whining a lot because they kept trying to get me drunk, and I was already drunk, and I was already like Spider-Man running. It was a lot. I don't know. It was a lot. That was a lot. So there's a video somewhere. Nobody wants to tell me where it is, but there's a video on the internet somewhere of me running around Atlanta as drunk Spider-Man.
Oh,
Really?
that would be the dopest. I need to see that video.
I need to see that video.
There we go.
I need to find that. I don't know. I agree though. I agree with you. When it comes to like when it comes to like being vulnerable, you know, you want to tell yourself that you're the most invincible thing in the world, but then there's always that one time, that one instance, that dark place, that particular moment, you know, that really gets you going. Like, and I agree with you, Nyan3rs, when it comes to men, you know, they tell us don't cry, and you know, I mean, we cry in silence, you know, behind, you know, fatty foods and lost sports games, but you know, whatever.
Lost sports games.
That's a thing with y'all for real. Like, did you just cry? Is he paying your bills? So why are you crying? But yeah.
All right, now for the good stuff, that Apex stuff. So many know Lifeline's voice as Mela Lee. When you got to voice her for season 3 of Apex, what all were you feeling? Definitely excited, right?
Nervous.
Nervous?
That was my number one. Yeah, excited, but I was definitely nervous. I love Singtel. I love Vampire Night. And when I started, right? Exactly. Okay. I mean, I'm a vampire, but anyway. So when I discovered who I'd step in, you know, whose shoes I step into, I was just like, what? Okay, no pressure. And I was honored. And I just literally started researching her, as I do with any role that I have, and found how brilliant she was in her stages of voice acting and acting in general. And then the commonality of humbleness and just wanting to be good and give back, and then being the best she could be in her role. So I was just like, all right, well, I got you, girl. I'm gonna, you know, hold this Lifeline flag high and do the best that I could. And I felt like I did, and it's just been beautiful ever since.
Was that the same way with Bloodhound as well?
Bloodhound, you know, Bloodhound was very exciting for me because it's this non-binary character that's still yet to be discovered, with an accent that I was like, ooh, let me get this right. But I felt the spiritual side. That was my connection, in doing things in honor of the gods and just being badass. So yeah, that one was less nervous because I was just like, I'm just gonna be badass and spiritual. So what's up?
Now, since you were talking about connection, that actually flows well with the next question.
Yes.
Did you feel a connection with Lifeline as you did with Bloodhound, or did a connection to the character develop the more you did lines for her?
There's a combination of the two. Initially, I felt a connection with her because I'm starting off in my modeling career, acting career, muse ship or whatever. I was the black sheep. You know, Africans, you come into a new country or coming to America, there are lawyers, doctors, business people, six-figure jobs and such. And I was like, I'm going to be a creative. I'm going to do the arts and go from there. And so just like how she left her family and, you know, the big corporation that was going against people and went into a hermetic position to help people, is the same way that I'm using my museship to be a philanthropist. So every monetary gain and notoriety that I have goes back to philanthropy, so that whoever knows me and whatever money I get, yes, I sustain my living and enjoy, because I like my stilettos here and there, but goes into charity. So I feel like her and I are the same. You know, I go out into the fields of the world to help people as she goes out into the fields to literally give life. So I was like, yes, AJ shit. So
what's it like working with the other voice actors, the Apex Legends team?
They were fun. I mean, the whole team was very, it was very comfortable to work with them. They're very like, what do you need? Making everything very easy, especially the full mocap outfit and suit. That was exciting to do. And they were literally, I felt like everyone was picked, that they were very, very in sync with their characters. I mean, Mars Crane, who was Gibraltar in Cossack, he's literally this huge guy. And when he was doing all the, especially with Gibraltar, when he was doing, the Pacific Islander, like, whole hand motions and voice, I was like, whoa, I could totally see it. When I was watching the trailer, I was like, I remember that. That was amazing. And then Crypto and Johnny, they're just like one. I was like, you found Crypto. So that was super cool. And Mirage is hilarious. Roger Craig Smith that plays him is exactly, they're 1 and 2. He was making jokes in between us doing our scene. So I was just like, oh, you are him. Got it. So yeah, it was fun. It was exciting. It didn't feel like work. It just felt like we all came together, to go out and do our thing. So yeah.
So I noticed you work with action moves for Lifeline. Is that something you got to have a lot of fun with?
Yes, I did. I was like, yes. I mean, I got to, so I'm not like, oh, let's shoot guns, but I got to shoot some guns. That was awesome. You should have seen that everyone was on set was like, oh my gosh, she's really excited. My eyes got big. I'm like, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. I kept asking, when are we gonna do it? When is it happening? And it felt great. So when I saw it later on, the moves, I was like, yeah, it was everything. I literally released, I was shooting all my exes. No, scratch that.
Wow. Wow. And she did it. She went.
Yeah,
I mean, at one point in every woman's life, there's that murder thought going through their head with their ex.
That's not okay. That's called premeditated murder.
No, just a little arm off here, and maybe
the Blerd does not sponsor this message.
But no, it was very exciting to do the action shots and to just run around, jump off, land. Everything was thrilling. I love I do right now some Brazilian jiu-jitsu for a movie that's coming out next year, and I'm doing some staff work for another potential movie. So adding gun work with Movie Gun Guy and just getting myself into it was thrilling. I was at the scenes I was doing with the guys, I was the only female on set. So I'm like, come on, I'm as big as you. I can do this. I'm as tough, and then I was tougher.
So you were talking about how Mirage was funny, which is one of the fan questions. Ninja Senpai wanted to know, is the voice actor for Mirage just as silly as his character in your own opinion?
Just as silly, just as fun, and really quick-witted. Like, he's just spewing out jokes left and right. And I'm like, is that in the script? And then I'm looking up and I'm like, no, that's just him. He's just doing his thing. And it was perfect. I could hang out with him. I'm like, yeah, we can grab beer. We can hang out and be us or be them. And he's exactly just like Mirage.
I'm gonna have to meet him.
Yeah, you do. He's I was just like, wow. I'm like, oh my God, he's so good. He was so good. I was watching him do his thing, and it's like nothing for him. So yeah.
The next one from a fan would be Kizzy. Wants to know how you got the role for Lifeline, like how that dropped into your lap.
Well, Kizzy, I have a really great team behind me, and I told my team that I've always wanted to. Well, let me start from the fact that I model, I act, I do other things, I curate experiences, I'm a poet, and people can see me as maybe like, not deep in a bad way, but like, oh, she's in this fashion world and she does this. But only when you get to know me, you get to know how silly I am and how much of like a gamer, and I love dressing up, cosplay, and I love cartoons and anime and all of that stuff. So when I procured this team that represents me, I told them that first day, like, I want to be in action movies, I want to be in sci-fi movies, I want to be in video games, all that. And then she was like, really? And she like looked at me, and I'm all dolled up, dressed up, and so I'm like, yes, I'm gonna do all of that. So they knew it, and they went out and seeked and kept an ear out, and the role dropped in my lap. I did go out for it previous to me getting it, and I didn't get it, and I was really bummed. I was like, oh man, I didn't do a good job. So by the time I went back a second time, I was so relaxed. I was like, listen, this is what you're gonna get. You can't see this, kitty, but this is what you're gonna get. I'm just gonna lean back into the role. You know, I'm gonna do my little Caribbean thing, and I guess because there was some really good competition, and I guess I was loosened up. I was vulnerable. Was that vulnerability, you know? And I got the role.
What advice would you give to someone that wants to get into voice acting, or modeling in general?
Advice. I would say do your homework. Really know to not waste, because you do learn from your mistakes. But it took me some time before I really sat in the niche that I am in now, and how I want people to see me and what my brand is. And so really do your homework on who do you want to be? Who do you want people to see? And I looked at people that I aspired to be parallel to and what they did, and started molding my life around that. If you need pictures, go get the pictures. If you need to be on whatever forums that will see you, or if you don't have representation, you know, go in and investigate on what kind of things you have to do. And then definitely be persistent, patient. Patience is the key, because nothing happens overnight. And then be self-confident in what you're trying to do, because people do feel that. And people do see that, and just stay humble.
Yeah. So like, so when it comes to acting, like, what do you want to do? Like, what roles do you want to play? Who do you want to work with in the future going forward? Because there's a lot, like, you got Marvel Studios coming out with stuff, DC's trying to push stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right there.
like, who do you want to be? If you could land a role based on skill alone, who do you want to be?
Storm.
Facts. There it is. Boom.
Storm. I want to be Storm. I want to do Storm well. Storm has not had justice. She has been not. I mean, like, yeah, I would love to be Storm. Obviously, a Dora Milaje for Black Panther. Let me join the troops and do that. And then I want to create a new character. I want to be the new whomever for, you know, a comic hero. I want to be a bald, badass hero out there, you know, saving the day and showing little girls that you can be outside of the norm and be beautiful and brave and not have to worry about societal norms. So, yeah.
You know what I think she would rock?
Who?
Vixen.
Facts. Nobody has done Vixen justice.
Okay. Yeah.
I have been waiting for a good Vixen for.
Can we put that out into the atmosphere, please? Let's put that in.
Last time Vixen was good was on the cartoon in Justice League Unlimited. I need Vixen to be fired. And I don't even think they're having her on Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is like.
Cosplaying her. Me, this one.
Like, I need Vixen. Like, oh, DC needs to get their life together, but that's another episode for another time. I'm not even going
We're just gonna have to flood their phones. How about that?
Like, that would be dope. To have a good
petition.
Yes, exactly.
If Marvel can give us Black Panther, DC could give us Vixen. I would love
it. I'm telling my agent, I got y'all.
I mean, DC is giving us Birds of Prey, and Vixen was part of the Birds of Prey.
At one point,
yeah. And add her in the movie. Yeah. So, DC, we have your actor.
Yep. Hey, right here, Obiageliaku. If you want to get into the folds and be beautiful and be amazing, put me in there.
So when it comes to acting, like, who did you pull inspiration from? For, like, you know, who did you get motivated from when it came to your acting and your modeling?
Well, acting wise, Angela Bassett is my everything, because not only does she's phenomenal in everything that she does, but she's very calculated in what she what role she chooses to play. She doesn't do she's not out there just doing everything. She's like, I'm going to be powerful and beautiful and remembered in every role. And she is that. I mean, she's a queen, you know, she's, well, Waiting to Exhale, she was burning cars, but that's still a role. Okay, she shaved her head, she cut her head, and she was different from the mold, and she showed her friends how difference was amazing. You know, she played the heck out of some Tina Turner. Okay, so Stella got her groove back. I was like, oh my God, my mom's name is Stella. So her and I watched it together. She's my best friend. And it was just all these powerful roles that she's been playing. And that's what I want to leave. I want to leave a legacy of strength with beauty and wisdom. So Angela Bassett. Now modeling, Grace Jones. I'm not as androgynous as Grace Jones. There are friends of mine who are more Grace Jones-esque, but I can be as such when I'm doing certain kind of photo shoots. But again, it's that strength over hard times and being able to mold yourself into something and someone that, you know, a struggling young Black woman, young Black girl can look up to. There's this amazing health food store and restaurant that I went to before when I lived not close to it. And now I'm going to go to Avidly, but I went there the other day and they sent me a message on Instagram and they said, oh my gosh, you're amazing. And my cousin loves you. And I was like, oh my, that's so amazing. That's beautiful. And she's like, yeah, you're a beautiful representation of what she's trying to grow up to be. And she's in Trinidad. So I was like, oh my God, I have fans in Trinidad? First of all, but my whole objective, that monetary gain and that notoriety for philanthropy is also to show, if not multitudes, one young Black girl that you can be, and you are a queen and you can be whatever you want to be. So those two, yeah, those two for me were that. Besides my mother, Grace Jones and Angela Bassett, man, that's that beautiful triangle right there.
And so I seen on your Instagram story, you were showing modeling pictures. Like the level of slay is God level. I was like, oh my God.
And those are some long legs.
Slay. I was like, oh God, take me now. Like the level of slay. Nader's rolling her eyes because, like, I don't know, like I have a thing for women's fashion, and Nader's like, oh, here it goes. I promise I won't rant. I promise. I won't go on a tangent.
I'm like, I have a thing for men's and women's fashion. You should see my closet.
We can all
like, how extensive is your portfolio? Like, how many professional photographers and models have you actually, you know, worked with throughout your career? Matter of fact, how long? Because we never asked. How long have you been doing modeling?
It's been 10 years strong, 10 years plus strong. I've always, you know, even when I was working with the TV network, I dabbled in just taking pictures here and there. Again, a makeup artist took me under her tutelage and showed me some ropes. But the last 6 years professionally, where, you know, I got paid good money and all that kind of, I got to work with photographers and people that took me seriously. And then definitely when I shaved my head, it was just like floodgates. Like everyone was like, oh my gosh, I can see your face. I can see your cheekbones. And you know, and I started seeing that pronounced like African, just carved beauty. And this is not me complimenting myself, but because I see this, you know, I'm a reflection of my other model friends, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and they're like, but that's you too. And I you know, it's been a while, but I'm always ever changing. I'm always elevating and growing, and it's been amazing. It's been amazing. Professional images that I have and professional work that I have, it's a lot. My brand manager and my publicists, they're like, listen, give us your phone so we can post and put out this and that. And I'm like, no, I need to do it myself. But I have a ton of content and a ton of things that you guys will get to see soon.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that dress and that makeup tonight.
Ew.
That sounds amazing.
The slay, I'm telling you, her level of slay is god level. Like,
Wait
kill
till
Godlike.
oh, thank you. Halloween's coming up, and I've got, if it all works out, I've got some good surprises for you all.
Oh, that's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
And so when it comes, okay, so and you being a Blerd, right? You being a Blerd. I have two questions. I have two important questions that are always hot debate, hot topics in the Blerd community. One, is it hard for you to date being a nerd?
See, it's not hard. Okay, date. So when a guy sees me, it's the aesthetics draws you in. And then there's a thought process of, are you bougie? Then I open my mouth and I'm silly and it's like, oh, she's cool. Then I start talking about things, and if they're not into anime, if they're not into cartoons, if they're not into comics and all that, and just, I like to read a lot too, fantasy books and sci-fi. Not into all that, I'm going to get bored. It's not them, it's gonna be me. And yeah, I guess that's all to say, yes. I find a way to like save them, but I'm like, no, yeah, it's kind of hard to date. But
and my next question is, do you online game? And if so, like, have you ever been harassed by the community?
Yeah. Go ahead, finish the question.
No, that's it. Like, have you ever been harassed? Like, you come on and you're like, hey guys, we know where we dropping in, and they're like,
oh, it's a girl. Oh
yeah,
my God.
like,
Yeah.
Number?
Because my, if I wake up in the morning, my voice is raspy. They're like, oh, like, what's your name? Where are you from? Or I'm talking in character. Oh, like, it's like, are you close? Do you want to do this in person? Do you want to, like, I can fly you out? Like, what? I'm okay. So let me just beat your ass in this game real quick. So that's it.
Wow, how wild is it though that like these guys are talking trash to or sexually harassing like the voice of, what I'm saying, like the voice of some of their favorite characters. Like they don't even know. Like, like you show up in the chat and they're talking shit, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that was, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, dang, if I only knew beforehand, I might not have said half of the things that I said.
Right.
Yeah, that's their bad,
That
it's
is
like the situation with McCree's voice actor, and he was playing Overwatch, and they're like, you're not McCree, there's no way.
Mm-hmm.
You're trash. It's like, over the Twitch.
Right?
Like, oh, shit.
Has that ever happened to you with Lifeline? Like you tell people like, oh, this is, and they're like, no, it's not. It can't be. Like, have you ever done that?
Yeah, I have. And they're like, well, okay, say this line or talk like Lifeline. I'm like, and they're like, oh, okay, I guess. Can I see you? You want to go out? Like, I'm like, all right, guy, no. No.
Time for you to calm down.
Yes, all the way.
That must be crazy. So how often do you online game? Like,
well, you guys know that I'm moving-ish now, so I haven't done so recently, but I'd say a couple times a week. Yeah. My brother's a really big gamer, and so him and I, that's even how I started into gaming. So let me tell you my origin story. I was hoping you guys asked me that origin story, but I'm gonna tell you anyway.
Go ahead. Do we miss the
Origin gaming story, let's go.
So my origin gaming story is hilarious. So Super Mario Brothers 3, I think it was, and we were home, just all chilling and playing. My father got it for us for Christmas, and my youngest brother, who's my best friend, one of my best friends, and he would pray, while my other brother, who was right underneath me, would play. And we would play all the way to like King Koopa Land. We would never get past we would never be able to battle him because I guess my brother just said it because he wasn't praying hard enough. But so my love, I still to this day have not beaten Super Mario Brothers 3 to this day, and I will not play it because if we didn't play when my brother was praying, how can I play it and beat it now? Even though I'm like a gamer. That's my origin story. Like I was like, you know what? Now I'm gonna have to be badass and I'm gonna have to beat everyone and everything. I love like playing guys specifically too, like Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Street Fighter, all that because I'm like, yeah, Street Fighter. Yes, I know, old school.
Oh wait, you trying to run a fade? What's up?
I'm great. And don't complain when I use one move on you and kick your butt. Okay, if the one move works, all right, because that's the complaint that I get.
That is true. One move works. You
All cap. No fact. Say if I beat you with one move, all cap. Wow.
All
so
right.
You just use Ken and do like Shoryuken like the whole game. Is that what that is? Like, yo.
Get around the Shoryuken then.
Wow. Oh, okay. So you just need a fade ram. That's fine. Okay. Thanos level. Just, show up, blow up your house, sit on your front porch. I got you.
Yeah.
So PlayStation then. That's what you play.
PlayStation, Xbox, yeah. And then I do VR too. I love VR. I used to work with Oculus back in the day before VR was a thing. So yeah, all that good stuff.
That's dope.
Now, in regards to fighting games, have you played Darkstalkers or Bloody Roar?
No! Don't tell me anything. No, not yet. But I have a friend who has, and I'm like, I'm excited. Once I get all of this situated behind me, I'm back in.
No, here's the real gaming question.
Yes.
Are you getting Pokemon Sword or Shield?
That is a good question.
Oh, you taking a minute. Hold on.
That's the other day because he's a Pokemon everything. Sword.
All right. Redemption. Okay. For that one move, that one Street Fighter move for the whole game. Redemption.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So when it comes to Hadouken the whole game. Are there roles that you like? What roles would you not take? What would it take for you to say, I'm not doing that? Gaming or acting?
All right. Okay. I know. Okay. I love retelling of African American history. I'm not gonna be anyone's slave in a movie.
Kente for her.
Yeah, I'm just in it. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna be bottom anything. That's for the most part. And then, because I love Skeleton Key. I don't know if you ever saw that horror movie. And playing a voodoo priest or priestess, sure, but for bad, no. Playing a witch. Bad when I'm a villain, I do villain last as much as possible. As much as possible. And I definitely I mean, because like Harriet is out and I mean if you give me the role of Harriet, I'd be like, well, it's Harriet. But I couldn't be I can't do slave role. Just couldn't. I'd be pissed the entire week. So
I guess that's the point, though, right?
Tell me, do one more thing, one more time.
One more thing. They're like, cut, and I'm like, it's not cut.
Like y'all want to revolt? It's a movie, right? Like,
I know. They'd be like, all right, I know you're a method actor. I need you to come out.
So all right, so no 12 Years a Slave and no 50 Shades of Grey. Got it. Too easy.
Well, Well,
I mean, 50 Shades of Grey is another entirely different
She didn't
story.
want to be. She said she didn't want to be bottom anything. So I was like, 50 Shades.
it's a little different. Let's leave 50 Shades out of that box.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she needs to come. Hey, you need to book her for After Dark. Okay.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I was just about to
Book
say
her for After. She might have to come through again. Might have to
On
revolve
After
back.
Dark.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Shiva and Charlie would be down for that. And then it's been a while since I've been on After Dark. I should properly hop in there with my nasty ass. There is 1 or 2 more minutes, Blerd. Do you have anything else you want to go over?
Man, I do not. Oh no. The real question is, how good are you at Apex? That's the real question.
I'm badass. Try me.
Okay.
The real question is,
are you good?
Lifeline?
I'm like, okay.
You got it. I just want to know. Don't run my face. I'll keep you Street Fighter.
I'm a competitor.
Oh, okay.
Love when it comes to competitions. Like, I'm trying to win. Okay, so yeah.
No, you know what? Okay, so one last question.
You guys don't see my face. I'm like, what's up there?
How good are you at Smash Brothers?
You don't.
Oh. Oh, she was talking shit for 2 seconds.
No. Let me finish unpacking and then we can go at it.
Are you sure? Because I run you the spring coat, I'm gonna run you the spade. Like, are you sure?
Right. Let's do it.
Are you sure?
I am sure.
Super Smash Brothers, are you sure?
I am sure.
Hey, look, the Switch is portable, so I'm trying to figure out why I gotta wait.
Come on. Ooh.
Oh.
It's moving.
I'm just saying, like, I know you got stuff to do tonight, but I mean, the weekend is fun time. You know what I'm saying? That's a portable.
We're gonna have to
It
dock.
ain't the weekend yet, though, Blerd.
We're gonna have to live stream that. Blerd view.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be a live stream. Yo, but I'm out of questions.
You're out of questions. All right, I have one last question. It's a simple question since it's 8 o'clock. Since you're into cosplay, will you cosplay Lifeline and Bloodhound at some point?
I will.
All right. Awesome. All right, Blerd, you want to close out so we can get off here and she can get doing her thing, being fabulous and slay?
All right, everybody. It's your boy Jonathan Diaz, aka Johnny D. Nyan3rs cosplay. We have been joined by the amazing Obiageliaku.
Come on, King.
And it has been an incredible Blerd View session. Thank you for the honor and the privilege.
Yes.
We definitely hope to get you on After Dark.
Yeah.
We're going to get her on After Dark.
I definitely plan on running that fade in Super Smash Brothers all day. All day. But we will see you guys next episode. Peace.
Yes.
We are out here.